Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Melissa, and I'm here to lead you through all levels yoga. We will practice together for 45 minutes. So just a reminder to listen to your body. If any stretches do not work for you, you can always skip them, come on out and modify. And things that you'll need for your practice today is you'll want to have a yoga mat, and it might feel nice to have a block and a blanket to support you through the practice. So if you don't have those props, that's okay. You can definitely do the class without them. They're just kind of there to guide you and to help you. So I was thinking today we will start on our backs and we'll do a little bit of a centering down there. So as you come down onto your back, feel free to take that traditional Shavasana pose if you would like. So that is with your arms relaxed and with your legs relaxed. And you could also bend your knees, plant your feet, and that will just help you to relax your low back muscles. So there's really no right or wrong way to do this one. It's really just checking in with your own body and seeing what feels right for you. If your feet are planted, knees are bent, one option is feet are nice and wide to the edges of your yoga mat, and then they drop in towards one another. Another option would be just to take your heels in line with your knees. And we are going to allow for our eyes to close here. And we'll just take some time to release the day so far, so we can release the day, whether it was good or bad or whatever it may have been, just letting it go and knowing that with yoga and mindfulness, we have the opportunity to start fresh and to start new in every moment. So we can just let it all go and we can begin again now. So let's start with a scan, a body scan, a form of meditation, just to relax us here. Try to relax the eyebrows. Relax your jaw. And try to relax the back of your head and the back of your neck. Relax through the shoulders, arms, hands. Relax the upper, mid, and low back. Relax your legs and your feet. And then focus on the breath flowing in and out through your nose. Lengthen as you inhale. Lengthen as you exhale. And then through the practice today, trying to keep that breath flowing in and out through the nose. So that will help you to stay calm and relaxed. Sometimes breathing through the mouth can activate the fight or flight response. So inhaling, exhaling through the nose just helps to keep you relaxed and calm and at ease. Maybe take your awareness to the nostrils and then just gently feel the breath flow in and out. And set an intention for your practice. And intention could be anything that you'd like it to be. It might be that you want to give yourself this time to practice some self-care. It may be that you want to release some tension that you might be holding on to. So there's no right and there's no wrong intention. Let's start with a full body stretch. So we'll just begin to draw the hands up and overhead. Maybe point your toes, maybe flex your feet. Allow for your body to be as active as possible here. And take your knees into your chest. So we're just gonna take our arms, hands around the knees or the shins. And gently rock to the right and to the left. So we'll just give ourselves a nice little release on the low back. This thing can be so nice because we have all of these little muscles and little attachments to different bones. And if we really tune in and connect with our body, we may be able to feel ourselves kind of rolling over the different muscles. And it does feel like a little bit of a massage, releasing a little tension. Let's take a really nice flow for our legs and our hips and our low back. So to start, we're just going to relax our left leg down onto the mat. You can straighten your leg if you would like. You can also plant your foot and have your knee bent. Let's take that right knee into the chest, and we are going to circle out through that knee. So you may want to use one hand and you may want to use both of your hands. And as you're creating a little mobility here, maybe you find small circles and maybe you find larger circles. Let's begin to circle in the other direction. And then as you are flowing here, maybe notice if it feels more natural to circle this way. It might feel a little unnatural to circle this way. Good. Let's bring ourselves into stillness. You can interlock your fingers, reach for the front of your knee, and then just try to pull it right into your stomach. And then we're going to pull it right into the ribs. So this is a wonderful stretch for your hip. We call this one Pavamutasana. Try to hug your arms into the sides of your body. Natural tendency might be to let those elbows flare out. So let's kind of wrap them in a little bit. And make sure that as you're doing it, you're not taking your ears up to your shoulders. Try to relax your shoulders away from your ears a bit. Fantastic. Let's change that stretch up just a tiny bit. So for this one, we are going to try to avoid our stomach and rib cage. Let's take that knee and pull it into the underarm area. So if you can avoid the stomach and the rib cage, that would be amazing. And this is just going to give you a hip stretch a little differently. So this is a variation of Pavamutasana. So same alignment cues, hug those elbows into the sides of your body. Try to let your shoulders relax from your ears. And breathe here. Nice full breath in and out. Let's take a reclining tree pose. So for this one, we will take the sole of our right foot to the inside of the left leg. Now you can press down into the outer edge of your right foot and then the heel of your left foot to lift your hips up and try to balance your hips off here. You're gonna let yourself come down. Try to feel your hips even. And if this is too much of a stretch in your body, grab a yoga block and prop that right knee up a little bit. That will make it a bit gentler. Only if the shoulders are feeling open and ready and flexible, maybe hands up and overhead. Just make sure that we don't want to have any pulling sensation in the shoulders, or we don't want too much of a stretch in the shoulders. This is going to be a little bit of a passive stretch and opening for our practice today. So reclining tree, Supta Vrikshasana. So this one's giving us a wonderful stretch through the inner leg, through the hip. Good for opening up our low back and really nice shoulder opening as well. Let's take our right knee to the left and we will land in a spinal twist, Supta Matsyendrasana. So for this one, you can keep your left leg straight and just roll on over. Maybe take that right knee to the left side of the mat. have your left leg straight. That's going to give you a deeper spinal twist. If it's a little bit too much, bend your left knee. Take the two knees bent twist. And you may want to gaze off the right shoulder. So that might give you a little bit more of a twist here. And I always love our spinal twist. I always remember how we do those dishes. We have a sponge that's filled up with some dirty water, and when we just kind of twist it out, very similar effect for our body. We can kind of twist out toxins that are not serving us. We can just get energy flowing in our body, which is really good. And let's release. We are going to come back onto our backs. Take a happy baby stretch here. Reach for your feet, flex your feet, reach through your heels and rock to the right and rock to the left. As you come into stillness here, let's relax that right leg down. Take your left knee into your chest and circle here. Find your movement. So as we flow through the stretches on the second side of your body, maybe just notice in your body if the stretch feels very similar on this side. It may feel very different. Our bodies aren't always symmetrical, and that's for a lot of reasons. Sometimes we have an injury and then our body holds on to that, muscles hold on to that, experience and things like that. It can also be the way that we naturally move through life, how you reach for your phone with one hand all the time, or how you step forward with the foot always with that, right or left foot first. So all of that can create these patterns in our body, which can make ourselves a little imbalanced from right side to left side. Let's begin to circle in the other direction. So we'll just reverse that movement here. So it's always nice when we can move in one direction and then we change to the other. And we do that so that we can create balance in our body. If we're always moving in one direction, those muscles are going to be more open and more flexible. And then the muscles on the other side are going to be a little bit tighter and less flexible. And then there becomes this imbalance. And yoga has a lot to do with finding the balance in the body and in the mind and everything, really. So as we come to stillness here, let's take our knee into our chest, returning back to that hip stretch, Pavanmuttasana. If you wanted a little more stretch, you could always straighten out the right leg. That's gonna give you a hip flexor and a psoas stretch on the right side. Might open up your quad a little bit as well. Let's begin to take our left knee to the left a tiny bit. Try to avoid your stomach and a rib cage and pull that knee into the underarm area. And release. Let's take the sole of our left foot to the inside of the left leg. Maybe lifting those hips up, propping yourself if you need to with your block. Hands up and overhead. And maybe close the eyes here for a moment. Let's take a full breath into the stomach. Feel this expansion of the stomach. And then we feel the contraction of the stomach. Feel the expansion of the ribs. Feel the contraction of the ribs. And then feel your chest rising and expansion on inhale. Feel your contraction on the exhale. Left knee to the right. Let's land ourselves into our twist and keep that right leg straight, or bend the right leg and take your twist however feels most supportive in your body. So it can take a little time for the body to open, but in time, we do want to try to feel this left shoulder relaxing down towards the ground. And then we will create a little bit of an even connection of our shoulders on the ground. And also another alignment cue to work towards is your low back. So we have our left hip kind of lifted and then that right hip is grounded. Almost imagine that this was straight here. If you could almost have your low back pressing against a wall. So that might mean that you have to kind of draw your left hip to the right a little bit more. Maybe imagine that there was a straight line here. And that can help to give you a little bit more twist too. And again, that might just take a little time for your body to open. Good. Let's put ourselves back onto our backs. Reach for your feet. Happy baby. Ananda Balasana. So this one is our hip stretch, our leg stretch, and so good for the low back. Take your knees to the chest. We will do a rock and roll through the spine to come on up to seated. And from seated, let's bring it forward into table. And you can always grab your blanket to pad your knees if you would like. And once you take your tabletop, let's lift into a downward facing dog as you exhale. Now in down dog, let's shake it out a little bit here. Bend one knee and bend the other knee. Relax your head, yes. Relax your head, no. So movement is always so nice in poses because gentle movement can really help to open up the body, open up the muscles a little bit more, and just helping to get your body prepared for the yoga poses through the class. Let's come on through into a fold. We will walk our toes to our hands and let's shake it out here as well. Maybe bend one knee and bend the other knee. Relax your head, yes. And relax your head, no. Let's find stillness here. We're gonna take a half lift. Try to draw your hands onto the shins and try to lift and lengthen your spine. Fold yourself down. Let's come on up. We'll take a reverse swan dive to rise to the sky and hands at the heart as you exhale. Let's work a little bit with a knee down sun salutation flow. And I really love these because personally, when I'm sitting a lot through the day, whether it's driving or being at the desk, my quads tend to shorten and hip flexors and so are shortened as well. So these are really great for just giving a really good stretch and trying to create a little bit more balance in the front and the back of the body. Sometimes when we're sitting, this part of the body shortens and then the back body lengthens and there becomes an imbalance. And when there's imbalance, we're more likely to have injuries in life. So this is really great for just trying to lengthen the front body and then to shorten some of the muscles in the back of the body. So let's get started in mountain. We will take our feet in line with our hips. Hands to the sky, breathe in. Let's come on down to a fold, breathe out. Bring yourself into a half lift. Plant your hands, take your right foot back, right knee will lower, and hands to the sky as you inhale. So this is Anjaneyasana, knee down warrior. So of course, grab your blanket to pad your back knee if you need to. We're going to float our hands down. Let's bring ourselves to a runner's lunge and come into plank. As you take plank, lower down to the mat. Hands come out in front for Sphinx. Elbows in line with your shoulders. Reach for opposite arms. Breathe here for a moment. So this is going to give you that really nice low back bend. So hang out here. If you want more, press your hands down. Elbows lift up. Elbows can wrap in. This one is Bhujangasana, low cobra pose. So getting into the mid back a little bit. And if you want more of a back bend, straighten out your arms. Reach and stretch to the crown of the head. This is variation of a seal pose. Let's take ourselves down to the mat. Full breath here. Let's lift it up. Downward facing dog on exhale. Right leg to the sky. Let's find a 3-limbed dog. Right foot forward, left knee lowers, hands to the sky as you inhale. Now let's try to be on the upper part of our left knee. So that is our little bit of a fleshier part of the knee. We're going to take those hands down. Let's bring ourselves into a forward fold. Halfway lift, fold to the earth. Come on up. Let's rise to mountain. Hands at the heart. Exhale. Hands to the sky. Breathe in. Fold it down. Breathe out. Halfway lift. Plant your hands. Left foot back. Left knee lowers. Hands to the sky. Let's create a little sensation of dropping the hips forward and down. So one common mistake is to be up here. And this is actually a yoga pose where we're at 90-degree angle. But Anjali asana is a little different. We're just going to try to drop those hips forward and down so that we can really get into our quad on the left side. Let's take it back to our runner's lunge. Plank, high push up. Float it all the way down to the mat. Let's bring ourselves into boat. And for this variation of boat, hands behind the body for yoga mudra. Maybe square the wrists or take your palms to touch. Lift up when you're ready. Legs lift, torso lifts, and feel yourself breathing here. As you inhale, feel yourself lift up. Let's move a little deeper into the back bend. And with your exhale, feel how the body finds a bit of softness in the posture. Let's take ourselves down to the mat. Full breath here. Let's bring it back. Downward facing dog. Exhale. Left leg to the sky. Float it up. Left foot forward. Right knee lowers. Hands sweep up. Let your hips and shoulders square forward here. So we want to encourage that right hip and right shoulder forward, left hip and left shoulder back. Hands come down. Let's float ourselves into a forward fold. Halfway lift and release. Bring it on up for standing. Hands at the heart as you exhale. Let's take another set. Hands up, breathe in. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Plant your hands, right foot back, right knee lowers, hands to the sky, breathe in. So maybe feel how as we come into our second set, it might feel a little easier. You might feel that your body just naturally opens with each movement. Hands come down. Runner's lunge. Back on through to plank. High push-up pose. Moving into cobra. Let's take it down to the mat. Hands are under the shoulders. Fingertips in line with tops of shoulders. Pinkies in line with deltoids. Glue the tops of your feet down. Rise to your navel when you are ready. So one common alignment that happens is elbows go out to the sides of the room. So let's try to hug those elbows in. Let your elbows run straight back. You may want to kind of hug them into your body a bit. Glue the tops of your feet down and maybe try to lift your hands up. But one thing that happens is when we lift our hands, our feet usually lift. So make sure you're pressing in through the tops of your feet. Come on down. So that really helps us get to our mid back. Let's lift to down dog on exhale. Right leg to the sky. Let's bend, stack, and open this time. We're going to float ourselves into our hip stretch. Reset, 3-limb dog. Right foot forward. Left knee lowers. Hands to the sky. Breathe in. And tailbone tucks. Feel the navel move back and up to the spine a little bit. Try to create this nice long line that flows through the crown of the head. Let's bring our hands down. Float it forward to fold. Halfway lift and release. Come on up, mountain Tadasana. Hands at the heart, exhale. Hands to the sky, breathe in. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half. Plant your hands, left foot back, left knee lowers, hands to the sky, inhale, shoulders relax away from the ears. We're gonna create a little space here between the ears and the shoulders. Float your hands down, runner's lunge, plank, high push-up pose. Lower all the way down. Let's try out our king cobra this time. Hands under our shoulders. Then walk your hands to the sides of the mat, a foot on one side and a foot on the other side. Feet tented up into your fingertips. Take your elbows to the sky. Glue the tops of your feet down. Rise up when you're ready. So straightening the arms if you'd like. Maybe have a bend in the elbows if you'd like as well. So with this one, to make it easier, you are going to have a deeper bend in your elbows and you're going to have your hands further from your body. For more of a back bend, hands closer into your body and arms are straighter. Let's bring it down to the mat. Nice full breath here. Lift it up. We're going to take ourselves to a down dog as you exhale. Left leg to the sky. Let's bend the knee. We're going to stack open through the hips. Reset to three-limbed dog. Left foot forward. Right knee lowers. Hands sweep up. Inhale. Feel your arms frame your ears. Fingers are active. Reach, stretch through your fingertips. Hands come down. Right foot forward. Forward fold. Let's bring ourselves into our half lift. Fold yourself down to the mat. Let's bring it on up, rising up, and hands at the heart as you exhale. Let's give ourselves a moment to pause here, reconnect into our breath and our body. Hands at the heart. Maybe draw your hands on the body, one hand to the heart, one to the navel. And just feeling yourself connecting to your body and your breath. Maybe feel the heart beating, connect to the life force, to the energy inside of your body. And then also feel your body reacting to the breath. As you inhale, feel your chest rise and navel rise. As you exhale, feel your chest fall and feel the navel fall. Knowing each time that you breathe, you bring life and oxygen to all of the cells throughout your body. Letting the eyes open when you're ready. And I wanted to work with flip dog for a moment. And I feel like I haven't taught flip dog in a while. So I was thinking I'll just demo it really quickly, and then I'll walk you through it nice and slowly, step by step. So for this one, if your shoulders are a little tweaky, you may want to skip it because it is a little deeper stretch in the shoulders. But if shoulders are feeling okay, it can feel like quite a nice stretch. So in this one, we are going to bring ourselves to a down dog. We will take our right leg up, bend, stack, and open. Hang out here. And then if you wanted to work with flip dog, you can just flip your foot all the way over to the other side of the mat. You're going to ground firmly into your feet, lift your hips up, and then let your hand come up and overhead. To come on out, you're just shifting on your hands and your feet as well. You're going to reset back to three-limbed dog, and then we're going to come on through into another yoga pose. So let's give that a try out together. So let's start in our downward facing dog. Take your right leg right on up to the sky. Bend the knee. We're going to stack and open through the hips. Let's float ourselves to flip dog. So right foot just flips right on over to the left side of the mat. Both of the feet are planted. Both of the knees are bent. Have your toes pointing to the back of the room. Lift your hips to the sky. Feel your hand reach up and overhead. Let's reset ourselves back to a three-limbed dog. Right leg up to the sky. Right foot comes through. We're going to open into Warrior Two when you are ready. So in Warrior Two, let's have our front heel in line with the back arch. Shoulders are over the hips. Try to feel your hands reaching forward and back. Let's create some movement here. Straighten your front leg, hands to the sky into prayer. We're gonna float it back on down. Warrior two. So we call this one a dancing warrior two pose. Let's flow with the breath for a moment. Good. Let's take warrior two. We're gonna try reverse. Peaceful warrior. Float it up and float it back. Backhand can glide down the back leg. Maybe wrap your arm around your low back. Reach for the other hip crease and take a half bind here. Core engages. Let's bring ourselves through. Warrior two. Come on down to a lateral angle. And maybe extended lateral angle here. Maybe lower the hand down to the mat for a little bit more stretch. And try not to collapse here into the bottom shoulder. So we want to create a little lifting here and a little bit of lengthening here. Core engages. Let's rise on up. We're going to take reverse, float it up, float it back. Windmill down. Let's come to lateral angle or extended lateral angle. And then move with your breath here. So we're just going to flow back and forth. As you're flowing here, let's just try to build that strength in the legs. Gives us this great opportunity to open up our shoulders a little bit more, open up the hips a little bit more. When that feels complete, let's take ourselves back on through. Warrior two. Windmill the hands to the earth. Let's bring it to a runner's lunge. Float yourself back into plank. Let's hold an upward facing dog. Lower down, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Let's gaze off the right shoulder. Look back for the right toes. Come back to center and lengthen. Gaze off your left shoulder. See if that gives you more of a back bend. Downward facing dog. Let's breathe out on exhale. Working with our flip dog on the other side. Let's take our left leg up to the sky. Bend the knee. Stack and open through the hips. Left foot to the right. Find your way to flip dog. Ground firmly to your feet. Lift your hips up and over. Have your hand reaching up and overhead. And get this back bend. So this is going to give you a back bend for the three parts of your back. Working with the core, let's realign. Three-limbed dog. Left foot forward. Warrior two pose. Virabhadrasana Dvi. So in this one, it can take a little time for the hips to open, but try to feel your hips and your shoulders squaring to the right side of the room. And really important to keep an eye on your left knee. So sometimes what happens when we try to square our hips and our shoulders forward, this left knee comes into the center of the mat too much, and we want to make sure that this knee tracks in line with the second and the third toe. We don't want our knee to come in too far to center. Reverse, let's bring it up and back. We'll hold it for a moment. So body's natural tendency is to straighten the front leg. Let's try to keep that knee bending and moving forward. Core engages, float it down. Lateral angle, holding for that moment. Maybe extended lateral angle. Try to create almost like a little twisting sensation here. Roll the right shoulder back, left shoulder under. Heart is opening to the sky. Rise up. Warrior two, reverse. windmill down. Let's float it down. Lateral angle or extended lateral angle. Rise with the breath. So almost imagine that from your hips down that you were in concrete. So we're going to try to keep that nice bend in our knee. And we're just going to try to create this flowing movement through our spine. It's going to be really nice for getting into those side body muscles and nice opportunity to strengthen the core a little bit. Good. When that feels complete, let's take ourselves back on through into warrior two pose. Windmill the hands to the earth, runner's lunge. Float it back into plank, lower down chaturanga, upward facing dog. Let's hold it, look off the left shoulder this time. Back to center, lengthen, look off the right. Back to center to lengthen and lift it to down dog as you exhale. Knees begin to lower, hips to the heels on exhale, child's pose. So for child's pose, we have a couple of options here. So you can take your knees together if you would like. That's going to give you that nice stretch for your low back. And you can also take your big toes to touch, maybe knees away from one another to give you a leg and a hip release. Come on forward, table. Sweep your feet to the right or to the left. Let's come on down into a seated posture. And then as you take seated, let's bring those legs out nice and wide. And as you bring those legs out nice and wide, feel free to inch your heels a bit further from one another to get a little bit more stretch for your legs. You can always use your hands to draw them a bit further. Flex your feet, create a little bit more activation here in your body. Lengthen as you inhale, and let's come on down to fold as you exhale. Now, if you had your yoga block, you can always take that out in front. It might help you move a little deeper into the stretch. Sometimes when people look at the yoga props, they look at a block and they say, oh, wow, you know, using a block will make the pose easier and I'm not going to get as much of a stretch, but it's actually the opposite. A lot of times the block will help you move deeper into the stretch, help you have better alignment in the posture. It can just be a very nice addition to the yoga practice. Great. Let's bring ourselves on up. Finding a neutral spine. Legs can come together. Shape your legs out a little bit here. And let's bring ourselves down onto our backs. Reach for your feet. Let's take that happy baby stretch one last time. Flex your feet. Reach through the heels. A little rock to the right. And a little bit of a rock to the left. From here, let's bring our knees to our chest, hug them in, gentle rock to the right and to the left. And that rocking movement can flow into a circular movement on the low back. Circle in the other direction. And release. We will bring ourselves into Shavasana. This is our resting and relaxation time of class. And just how we started our time together. Legs can relax, arms can relax, knees can bend, feet can plant, either feet nice and wide at the edges of the mat, or and then letting your knees drop in towards one another, or having your heels in line with your hips. Feel your eyes closed. Shavasana is the most important posture of our yoga practice. So through our time on the mat today, we're twisting and turning and back bending and folding, shifting to the right and the left, so creating so many different movements. And all of those movements have a tremendous benefit for our body. And when we find this time in stillness, all of those benefits can be integrated into our body and into our mind. Take a moment to notice how you feel. Observe your mind, your body in the moment. Feel your mind relax, calm, at ease. Feel your body aligned and balanced. Tension that you may have come to class with, just feeling how that has released with breath and meditation and yoga. Making your way onto your side, bringing yourself into a fetal position. When you're ready, coming on up, finding your way into a comfortable seated position. Taking the hands at your heart in prayer. This is Anjali Mudra. Ending practice with gratitude. Thinking of something in your life that you are truly grateful for. The light within me honors the light within you. Namaste. Namaste, everyone. Thank you for joining me today. It's a pleasure to be here with you to share the gift of yoga with you. I hope you have a wonderful day today, and I look forward to our next class together.
Okay, thanks, Melissa.
You're welcome. Thanks, Melissa. You're welcome.